I think Nayagan was the first Mani Ratnam film that I watched, and it deeply, deeply impacted me when I watched it because uh, I was too young to understand what I loved so much about it. Because I was an avid movie buff. I used to watch a lot of movies, and but this just stood out. This was such a clutter breaker. It just hit me on so many different levels when I watched it, and I couldn't really process. All I knew was that I really wanted to watch it again and again and again. So I convinced my parents to buy me the VHS so I could keep watching it again and again. But I was a Mani Ratnam fan immediately, because then after that, after Nayagan, I used to keep waiting to watch his films, the films that he made after that. And then I went back many years later. Because I thought Nayagan was his first film. Then I got to know that he had made a couple of films before that. So then I started watching his earlier work also. It was not that. My first meeting with him, I bumped into him in a friend's wedding, and I went up and told him how much I admired his work, and I really look forward to working with him at some point. And he was just sweet about it, and he didn't say anything. He was just cordial with me. But then many years after that, couple of years later, is when I formally met him. When I applied for a job at Madras Talkies, when he actually called me for an interview. The first thing he told me in the interview is, because I was already making some short films, he's like, "Why do you want to assist? You should not. You're already making films. Go ahead and making films. Why are you doing this?" Then I told him that I really want to learn. I want to understand, and I want to get better at my craft. And but he was constantly trying to dissuade me from assisting him. That's what I remember. I must tell you this thing, that he never calls. It's not like he calls at all. We figure out what the next movie is when it is happening, and we ourselves volunteer in this lander. And it's mainly because I can safely say for everyone who goes back that we do it purely not just because we love him so much, but because I think it's purely selfish, because we get to learn so much just being on his set. The kind of talent he manages to collate, the kind of and I'm not just talking about the actors, I'm talking about the technicians and everyone who come on board to execute the vision, and to see him execute a film, it's like a masterclass. And for me, it's like going back to school, going back to just brush up on how filmmaking should be, because I firmly believe that just because you started directing doesn't mean now you've made it. I think we need to constantly, it's riyaz, no? It's how you can keep brushing up and keep finessing your craft. So for me, going back to working with him is purely me trying to finesse my craft. There are a lot of things I apply from working under when I do films. It's and it can be something as small as the detailing that you get into, in the script once it's written, and it can be in the staging that you kind of, for a simple scene that you must have 3-4 ways of breaking it down, but then to push yourself to find a new way to tell a scene. So there are many things like that I have definitely applied after being on a set. Many things, not just one thing. I know both have featured a lot in his filmography, and I think, and every film he uses it so differently. Despite it's the same device, but it's how he uses it, where he uses it. It can be in a song, it can be in an action scene, it can be in a scene. It's how he uses those elements to deliver the scene better. So I think that's a connection that he has strongly with it. See, I joined him much later, so by then already he had 2 decades of more in the field. So he has seen all the highs and lows already. So he's a pro at handling both. So I don't think I'm the right person to speak about that. But I've seen him to the best of times. I've seen him to the bad of times also. But he is very calm and composed in both. He deals with both very, very deftly.